chaos. The streets were quiet, but the air was heavy, thick with rumors of political plots and whispers of an impending coup. In the middle of this storm stood General Viktor Ondrenko, a decorated war hero, feared by his enemies, respected by his troops, and admired, at least in public, by the politicians who smiled in his presence but plotted behind his back. They called him the chess master, a man who could outthink an opponent 3 moves ahead, whether on the battlefield or in the backroom deals of politics. But away from the medals, away from the speeches, Victor was a man surrounded by danger. He had made too many enemies, and soon one of them would make their move. The warning. It was a rainy night when Captain Mikhail, Victor's most loyal aide, entered his office without knocking. His coat was soaked, his voice urgent. "Sir, they've signed your death warrant." Victor froze. This wasn't a figure of speech. Mikhail had seen the documents himself, orders from the highest level. It wouldn't be a public execution. No, this would be quiet, a tragic accident in the papers, perhaps a car crash, perhaps poison. Something clean, something no one would question. That night, Victor lay awake, not afraid, not angry, but calculating. He could run, but they would hunt him. He could fight, but they would turn the public against him. And then the idea came. Not just survival, revenge. If they believed he was already dead, he could move in the shadows, watch them relax, watch them make mistakes. And when the time was right, he would return. The plan. Faking your death is harder than it looks in films. You need more than just a body. You need witnesses. You need official paperwork. You need the story to make sense, so people don't just believe it, they repeat it. For weeks, Victor and Mikhail worked in secret, every step rehearsed, every detail planned. A single mistake would cost them both their lives. The perfect opportunity came during a scheduled military inspection near the northern border. The route ran along a dangerous mountain road, sheer cliffs on one side, a freezing river far below. The plan? A staged explosion. The car would go over the edge, the body inside burned beyond recognition. The newspapers would have their tragic hero headline. Their enemies would have their victory, and Victor would be gone. The execution. On the morning of the operation, Victor stood in front of a mirror. He studied his own reflection, knowing this might be the last time he saw it. His convoy rolled out, the mist hanging low over the mountains. The pine trees swayed in the wind. The air smelled of snow. At the sharpest turn in the road, the driver slowed. Mikhail's voice came through the radio. "Now!" Boom! An explosion shattered the silence. The car swerved, flames engulfing it instantly. From a distance, soldiers saw it tumble down into the icy river. What they didn't see was Victor slipping out moments before into the back of an unmarked truck. By the time divers reached the wreckage, the body inside was unrecognizable, but positively identified as General Viktor Ondrenko. The capital went into mourning. His enemies toasted in private. They thought the game was over. The funeral. 3 days later, the grand state funeral took place. The cathedral bells tolled slowly, each strike echoing through the cold winter air. The coffin lay at the front, draped in the national flag, surrounded by flowers. Every minister, Every general, every diplomat attended. Some wept, some pretended to. At the very back of the hall, a man stood in a dark overcoat and hat, his face hidden, his eyes fixed on the front row, where the very men who had ordered his death sat pretending to grieve. It was Victor. He stood there, watching his own funeral. And he smiled. The waiting game. Victor didn't strike immediately. No, that would be suicide. Instead, he vanished into the underground. A new identity, safe houses across the countryside, a network of loyal contacts who owed him favors. For months, he collected information, corruption in the Ministry of Defense, secret arms deals by his rival general, the president plotting to dissolve parliament and seize power. Every secret was documented, every betrayal recorded. He was building a weapon far more dangerous than bullets, the truth. Exactly 1 year after his death, the country woke to chaos. The press was flooded with leaked files, proof of treason, bribery, murder, names, dates, bank transfers, everything needed to destroy those in power. The president fled within 24 hours. The rival general was arrested in his own office. Half the cabinet disappeared overnight. And then came the voice. Across military radio frequencies, a familiar tone spoke. This is General Victor Ondrenko. Loyal soldiers, stand by for orders. Some thought it was a ghost. Others knew better. The return. That night, the capital's main square erupted in noise. Spotlights cut through the darkness. Crowds gathered in disbelief. And there, on the steps of the Ministry of Defense, stood Victor, alive, in full uniform, and smiling that same cold smile he wore at his own funeral. He had come back, not just to survive, but to win. The truth. In a rare interview years later, a journalist asked him, "Why not just fight them from the start? Why go through all this?" Victor leaned forward. Dead men are ignored, but a dead man who comes back is feared forever. Epilogue. Victor never revealed how he pulled it off, how he found the body, how he fooled forensics, how he hid for a year without being seen. Some say foreign intelligence helped him. Others believe he was simply that good. Today, his story is legend, a cautionary tale for anyone who believes killing a man like Victor will end the game. Because, somewhere out there, in the shadows, the chess master is always watching.